Good evening, children. Children, in your in-text question, chapter number 1, matter in our surroundings, there are in-text questions which are given just after the states of matter which we have discussed till now. In that there is one question, ice floats on water. You have to give reason. Why does ice float on water? So we are going to discuss, before we proceed on to the next topic of the chapter, let us discuss this reason. So this phenomena is known as anomalous expansion of water, and that is the reason why ice floats on water. Now children, think that there are two states of a matter. One is a solid state and the other is a liquid state. Now we have seen all the properties of the three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas, and we have seen that the density of liquid is less and that of a solid is more. So if we take any matter, any substance, if we compare the densities of solid and liquid state of that particular matter, then the liquid will have less density and the solid should have more density. Now let us see the case of water. Now I have a small quantity of ice here. You can see there are ice cubes here, and I have the liquid form of water in the glass. Now if we carefully observe, children, the ice, we can see that the surfaces of ice are a little bit bulging. They are not flat. You can see that the surface of ice is not flat, but it bulges from in some areas. Means it has expanded when it has become a solid. So different surfaces, if we will observe, we can see that the surface of ice bulges. This you can do at home also. Now if I put this ice in water, now what is expected? That the liquid form of water, its density should be less, and that of solid form, that is ice, the density should be more. So if I put ice in water, the ice should sink. Let us see. So what do you observe, children? It is not sinking, but the ice is floating on water. What a surprise. So this is not correct from our observation. What was expected? That liquid density should be less. So according to this, ice should have sink in water, but ice floats on water. Now why does this happen? It means that density of ice is less and that of water is more. Now children, we know that density is inversely proportional to volume. Means if we are comparing masses of equal masses of two different substances or different states also, then density is inversely proportional to volume. Means if we take a same mass of water and same mass of ice, then if density of ice is less, means its volume will be more. Just now I showed you, children, that the surface of the ice is bulging out. Bulging out means its volume increases or it expands when it is cooled. So it has been found that between 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius, water behaves in an anomalous way. Anomalous way means an abnormal way. Actually till 4 degrees Celsius, the density of water goes on increasing. Because the temperature is decreasing, density will go on increasing. But as soon as it goes below 4 degrees Celsius, it starts behaving in an opposite way. Now its density will go on decreasing till it reaches 0 degrees Celsius. Its density has decreased, and that is the reason why it can float on water. The reason why the density is decreasing is the formation of hydrogen bonds. You will study in the higher classes that one molecule of water, another molecule of water, they form hydrogen bonding, which gives a cage-like structure. and that is the reason why because of the cage-like structure the density decreases, and that is why the ice floats on water. And density decreases means volume will increase, that is why it will expand, and that is what we call as anomalous expansion of water. And this is anomalous expansion is responsible for different phenomena which is taking place in nature. For example, the aquatic animals, they are able to survive. Why? Because ice floats on water. Ice floats on the water. Ice is a bad conductor of heat, so it will not allow the cold to penetrate inside deep into the water. So the temperature of the water below the ice will be more than 0 degrees Celsius, and that is how the aquatic animals will be able to survive. So this is all about anomalous expansion of water. Now let us continue further with the further part of the chapter. In the previous video, we have I have sent you two videos, two links of YouTube to an activity to demonstrate the melting point of water and boiling point of water. I hope, children, that you must have seen this video very carefully. So if we see in these videos, then we came across one observation that until and unless entire ice doesn't melt, the temperature does not change. And until and unless the water completely will evaporate by boiling, the temperature will not change. Means the temperature becomes constant at 0 degrees Celsius for ice, and it becomes constant at 100 degrees Celsius for boiling water. Though we are providing the heat, though we are continuously heating, but the temperature will not change. So why does this happen? Let us discuss today. Before we discuss, we should know what is melting point and what is boiling point. So melting point is that temperature at which a solid starts changing into the liquid state at the atmospheric pressure. Now different substances have different melting points. Like water. Water has a melting point of 0 degrees Celsius. You can see that now this ice has started melting. Okay, so 0 degrees Celsius is the melting point of ice. So the temperature at which a solid starts converting into the liquid state, that is the melting point. Different substances have different melting point. Iron will not melt at room temperature. It will take more than 1000 degrees Celsius for the iron to melt. So why is it so that one substance has a different melting point, another substance has a different melting point, and that too there is so much of difference between the two melting points? Melting point will depend on the forces of attraction of the particles. Here in the case of water, the force of attraction between the water molecules is not that strong as compared to that of one iron atom with another iron. Means it will require more energy to break the force of attraction between one iron atom and another iron atom, and that is why its melting point is very high. But it requires less energy to break the bond or the force of attraction between one water molecule and another water molecule, and that is why its melting point is less. So what idea does the melting point give to us? It is completely dependent, or it gives us the idea about the force of attraction between the particles of matter. Force is more, higher will be the melting point. Force is less, lower will be the melting point. Okay, now let us come on to the melting point experiment of water or ice. So we saw that the temperature does not change until and unless the entire ice has melted. So why this is happening? So children, when we are heating any substance, whatever heat we are supplying, it is utilized to increase the kinetic energy. The kinetic energy increases. Now the kinetic energy keeps on increasing. But when the melting point is reached of that substance, whatever heat energy we are giving, it is now utilized only to overcome the forces of attraction. So now there is no further rise in the kinetic energy. If there is a rise in the kinetic energy, the temperature will increase. Means kinetic energy increases, temperature also increases. At melting point, kinetic energy, no change. What is happening then? Heat is overcoming force of attraction. So there is no change in the kinetic energy. No change in the kinetic energy means temperature will not increase, and that is why at the melting point the temperature remains constant. Whatever heat we are supplying, it will be just utilized to overcome the force of attraction, and that is how the solid will start changing into liquid. So we are giving some amount of heat, but that heat is not causing any change in the temperature. This heat, which is not causing any change in the temperature and only overcoming the force of attraction, that is changing the state, is known as latent heat of fusion. Fusion means melting. So this heat, which is overcoming the force of attraction, breaking the force of attraction between the molecules of solid and changing the solid into liquid, is known as the latent heat of fusion. Latent means, children, it is hidden. Why we will call it as latent or hidden? Because it will not cause any rise in the temperature. Generally, whatever heat we will provide to a matter, it will be recorded as the change in the temperature. On the thermometer we can see that we are heating something, temperature will rise. But here we are heating, but temperature is not rising. Why? Because it is just overcoming the force of attraction, or it is changing the state of matter, and such heat is known as the latent heat. Now, as this heat is utilized for the fusion process, that is the melting process, and that is why it is known as latent heat of fusion. So completely ice will melt, it will become water, and then only water, the temperature will start rising above 0 degrees Celsius. So if we want to define the latent heat of fusion, how we can define it? Amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of a solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as latent heat of fusion. So this is the definition of latent heat of fusion. Same way, latent heat of vaporization, it is a phenomenon when boiling will take place. So boiling means conversion of a liquid into a gas at its boiling point. The temperature at which the liquid will get converted into its gaseous state or vapor state is known as the boiling point of the liquid. That temperature is known as the boiling point. So again, there the temperature will become constant. If you have seen that activity, in that the temperature became constant at 100 degrees Celsius. No further rise in the temperature. So that is why, because forces of attraction are overcome, and that will be called as latent heat of vaporization. So we have seen two terms, latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization. Latent heat of fusion is the amount of heat required to change 1 kg of a solid into its liquid at its melting point at atmospheric pressure is known as latent heat of fusion. And latent heat of vaporization is the amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of a liquid into its vapor state at its boiling point at atmospheric pressure is known as latent heat of vaporization. So it is the hidden heat which can't be recorded on the thermometer. There are different applications of latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, which we will discuss in the next class.